How's it going, everybody? CJ here, back with another video. I'm doing another first thoughts. This video is going to be on Obosh, the Preypiercer. Also, if you guys enjoy these videos, remember to comment down below. Let me know what you guys are going to do with these commanders. What are you going to do with their decks? What are you going to build? I want to know. Comment down below what you're going to do. Also, like the video, subscribe to the channel, check me out on Patreon if you really want to support me. And yeah, let's get into this. So, Obosh, the Preypiercer. It's here. I think it's over here. The problem with this is the English version is not yet available, so you're seeing a foreign version. But I'll read the text for you. It's got Companion. Each non-land card in your deck has an odd CMC. Whenever a source you control with an odd CMC deals any damage, it deals double that damage instead. So I don't really care that much about the Companion part because I'm talking about using it as a commander. It can also be a companion for a couple of the cards I'm going to mention inside this, because they're good cards to put in the deck if you have Obosh as the commander. But there's some cool stuff you can do. So there's a lot of just burn spells and really good cards that happen to be odd CMC that can deal a lot of damage. I mean, you just run Lightning Bolt, and it's 1 mana, deals 6 damage to any target. Pretty good. Another card, Fire Covenant. Love this card. And it can be a really good board wipe in this deck just because of the fact double damage. That means you have to pay half as much life into it. Blasphemous Act is, 26 damage for 9 mana? But it's not actually 9 mana because it's based on creatures, so it's going to be like 26 damage for 3 mana to each creature. We got Karavek. Karavek's pretty sweet. It's a really good way to deal a lot of damage to your opponents, especially because double damage. Karavek is a card that would be a good one for Obosh to be a companion for as well. Heartless Hidetsugu. This one's just nuts. It just can win the game, and especially if you can give it lifelink with something like Basilisk Collar, something like that. It's disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. And your opponents will hate it. So do it. Then we got, Torbrand. Torbrand's not odd CMC, but since we're using Obosh as a commander, that doesn't matter. And Torbrand just makes solely red sources deal an extra, 2 damage? Extra 3 damage? I think it's an extra 2 damage. And so you just stack triggers so that way the 2 damage is applied first, and then you double it. So like Lightning Bolt, instead of dealing 3 damage, you can make it deal 10 damage. Disgusting. 1 mana, 10 damage to any target. Very, very good. Vile Smasher. Another one that it would be a good companion for, but also just good in the deck. Every time you cast a spell, you randomly burn somebody for double that spell's CMC. Repercussion. This is a cool one. It does some cool things, does some very cool things, and just gotta be good with attacking and just have enough creatures to attack people that will block, and when they block, it still deals damage. You can use it as an alliance piece. Well, no, you can't because it's to that creature's controller. It's whenever so this work. Sorry, I read this card wrong for a second, but it's still very good. So say you have Repercussion out, and then you cast Fire Covenant and do most of your life. You can just deal enough damage to each of them to kill your opponents, because it'll deal double damage and then double damage. So that's going to be a lot of damage. Say you do Fire Covenant and pay 30 life, do 10 damage to each one of their creatures. That becomes 20 damage to each creature. Repercussion does 40 damage to each of them. Just wipe somebody out with that. Then you got Stuffy Doll. It's a very similar thing to Repercussion, but it's on one creature, and it's your creature, so you can Fire Covenant your own creature, then kill somebody. Bitminous Blast. This one's kind of cool. It's unplayable otherwise, but since it does 8 damage instead of 4, I think it's worth playing. And the Cascade is just icing. That's just nice. You can do Hour of Devastation as a good board wipe. Get rid of Indestructible and deal 10 to everything. Chandra's Ignition. It's a good way to kill people. You can just play, how big is Obosh? Obosh is 3 power, so not that big, but that's 9 damage, or 6 damage to each player and each creature if you have just Obosh as your biggest creature in play. And typically, you're probably going to have something bigger than that. 3 is not very big. Just say you have Karavek in play. then that's 10 damage to everything. Pretty solid. And Drakuseth. Drakuseth is pretty cool in this deck because instead, when it attacks, it deals 4 damage to any target and 3 damage to each of the 2 other targets. Instead, it's 8 damage and 2 targets get 6 damage. So it can wipe out some big threats, or it can just deal lots of damage to your opponents. Especially if you can give this thing Infect. Ugh, that'd be gross. That'd be really gross. Oh, you don't even need a double damage to just give this thing Infect. Oh my goodness, you can just hit somebody for 7, then deal 3 to them, and... Ugh. Okay, Drakuseth is kind of sick with Infect. I never thought about that before. Fireball. Another classic card that works really well in this deck because it basically doubles your mana into a fireball. And so yeah, that's what I have written down for my big damage dealing cards. Like, most of these are probably must-haves in the deck, or at least just really cool ideas for the deck. Then there's I guess got some other sweet stuff, like Malignus. So Malignus's power and toughness are equal to half of the highest life total. So that means when it deals damage, it's going to be dealing full damage. So like say your opponent's at 30 life, Malignus is at 15. If it hits them, that's 30 damage and they're dead. And that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Neheb the Eternal. You're going to be dealing a lot of damage. Might as well make a lot of mana. I have my own Neheb the Eternal deck somewhere back here, and super, super fun. Like, if only they changed the ruling on what's it called? The split mana. I can't remember what it's called. I can't remember the term for it, but the split mana cost, the ruling on it has to be in a, like, Obosh can only be in a Rakdos Plus deck. If they change it to it could be in either a red deck or a black deck, then it would be the companion of that deck immediately. And then it's odd CMC matters, so why not have Void Winnower? Just really screw over that even CMC deck that recently was made with Gyruda. Just completely screw that over. Hilarious play. And then last thing I want to talk about for this deck is damage doublers. So obviously there's more damage doublers than just Obosh, and you might as well throw them all in there to try to get as much damage as possible going on. So a few of them include like Angrass Marauders, which is double damage on a creature as well. Furnace of Wrath, Gratuitous Violence, Curse of Bloodletting, which doubles damage on a single person. So if there's someone that you really don't like at the table, you can just eliminate them real quick. Then there's also like Insult to Injury. The insult side is double damage. And it's a couple extra cards that technically aren't double damage, but almost do the same effect, with Wound Reflection and Archfiend Despair. Very, very cool cards. Love playing. I play them both in my Gerard deck, and they're very powerful. And they can do a lot with Obosh. It basically quadruples the damage. And so, yeah. That's what I got for Obosh. If you guys enjoyed this video, please remember to like it, share it, comment down below what you're going to be doing with Obosh. If you're going to make it a companion in one of your decks, or if you're going to actually build it as a commander, I'd love to hear it. And I'd love to hear about your tech that you think of that I didn't mention. Anything cool. And check me out on Twitter. If you really want to support me, check me out on Patreon. And yeah, join the Discord. That's via Patreon. So you should do that. You can talk to us. And we'll see you next time. Peace out, everybody.